Yeah, yeah. And because that audit
But it wasn't. Would you stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're actually going to this morning take a moment of silence for the Nashville victims, where 6 people lost their life in a shooting, 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults. So if you would take a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, I'll call this meeting to order, this March 28th, 2023 meeting. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda A through F. Motion second. Any further discussion? I don't see anything on there that's needs discussion. I don't think so. All right, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, so we'll move on to public comments. If you have a public comment this morning, please come up, state your name, and you have 3 minutes to address the commissioners about anything that's going on in the county. Anybody want to speak? All right, nobody. Okay. We have a public hearing at 8:45 for the finance, so we're going to try to go through some of these before we get there. Roy, you can do it in 10 minutes? Yep. All right, come on up. Morning. This is Roy with the Office of Development Services with BHI change orders 5 and number 6. Go ahead, Roy.
Okay, so first up, change order number 5 is, you can see the list there. There's a number of additions that have been going on since about September. We just gathered them all up and added them into this change order. The amount of this one is $148,924.28.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve change order number, is this 5 and 6?
5.
5.
6 names.
To BHI in the amount of $148,924.28.
Second.
Yeah, motion second. Any discussion on this change order?
We are. We're gonna start taking all this gear out of here today or tomorrow.
All right.
Next one is.
Hold
oh,
on.
I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll go ahead and move on to number 6.
Okay.
No.
Yes,
20 to 102 today.
90 pages on that one. Almost. While she's doing that, that's just a backup for all those things that were listed on the front page.
Should have listed what page number 6 was on.
It's on, you're almost there. It's 90.
Page 90.
Yeah, 90 or 91.
You're at 78, so probably is.
This one, 1,170,000. 94. Page 94. $1,170,000.
There we go. Okay. So change order number 6 is for the remaining site work that takes us out to US 40. So that adds the other drive lane, fixes all the asphalt and the landscaping. We pulled the asphalt number out of the original quote from BHI. We're gonna tag team that with another contract with Road and Bridge and save us some money. This is all being paid for out of the CDS award that we got from Congress last year. The amount of this is $1,170,526.46.
That's also BHI.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve change order number 6 to BHI in the amount of $1,170,526.46.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? So this will be to completion.
Yeah, we will have one more change order before we're done. Anyway, this part gets us out there to the victory.
All right. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Great.
Thanks, Roy. All right. Yeah. Todd, you want to come up? We got a little less than 10 minutes. So Todd, this is Department of Public Health and Office of Emergency Management, AED Policy Resolution 2023-42.
I think that's it for you guys is the Board of Health.
No,
Not for the AED.
yeah, this is the AED policy.
So asking for the commissioners to approve the resolution and the policy for the ADs that were purchased last year that were finally received this year and have already started to be distributed throughout the county in the new courthouse, the airport, Lottie Simpson, the fairgrounds, and state statutes that are required. We have to have a policy in place. How those are to be monitored, operated, and maintained from here on. We're asking Board of County Commissioners approve this new policy, to finish up the program, and start looking at the additionals that are going to be needed for future
stuff. Okay. So should we not make this motion here?
The resolution is drafted, passed by the Board of Health.
Not the county commissioners.
And it's on both of our agendas today, for the county commissioners and for the public health a little bit later. Yeah,
Just the other public health policies are under the Board of Health. So
Yep.
this one it's on our agenda for the public health meeting too. So we just doubled up.
So we could talk about it and then make the
Absolutely.
motion in public health. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so this is your just trial run.
All right.
This brings us up, and I know this resolution, but now we will have AEDs everywhere we need to have them, right? Or are we still lacking?
We're
some?
still lacking a few,
Okay.
but the next go around will be half of what we previously purchased.
Okay. So this gets us pretty
This
close.
gets us pretty darn close. This gets about 2/3 of the way, half to 2/3 of the way complete.
I mean, getting rid of a lot of these buildings should shrink down on how
Really
many we
did.
need, right?
It really did. So it allowed us to move them elsewhere where we hadn't planned on
Planned on.
originally. So now few more to reduce cost. Not have to purchase quite as many.
Right, perfect. All right,
All right. Thank you.
appreciate it.
At the next meeting.
All right. All right, well, we will just take a 5-minute recess. To our, I don't think you're gonna get done in 5 minutes on John. Yeah, so, no pressure. So, we'll take a 5-minute recess before our public hearing and then regain. So, thank you.
Gave something too.
All right. So we will go into a public hearing. Let the record show for today's public hearing regarding the proposed first supplemental budget of 2023, which was posted in the legal section of Craig Daily Press on Friday, March 24th, and posted on Moffett County website and on today's agenda. Once the public hearing has been declared, I will ask Kathy Nelson, the Moffett County Finance Director, to present the proposed March 2023 supplemental budget to the Board of County Commissioners. Once Kathy has completed the presentation, the commissioners may ask questions or make comments. Then I will ask the audience if there is anyone who wants to testify either for or against. Any interested elector of Moffett County may testify once the public hearing has been declared and all the information has been presented. For those who want to testify, you will be asked to approach the commissioners, state your name for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to present your case either for or against. Erin Miller will be the timekeeper today. She will notify the speaker that has 20 seconds remain, excuse me, before your time is up. No decisions will be made during the public hearing. This is an opportunity for you to provide testimony in favor or opposition for the proposed request. Once all testimony has been heard, the public hearing will be declared closed and we will go back into regular session. I will then refer to my fellow county commissioners to consider approval of the March 2023 supplemental budget and any associated resolution. So we will declare this public hearing. And Kathy, if you would come, open, and Kathy, Heather.
Morning.
Okay, so this is our March 2023 supplemental. Our first is for human resources. The Human Resource Department requests to transfer $6,000 from full-time wages to part-time wages for a temporary part-time position. This is no change in contingency. Other admin, the Finance Department requests to roll over $42,500 of augmentation ARPA funds. The plan will be completed in 2023, which is sooner than budgeted for. No change in contingency. The Finance Department requests to transfer $40,000 of Lottie Simpson Improvement ARPA funds to the Human Resource Council ARPA funds, giving the HR Council a 2020 working budget. No change in contingency. Sheriff. The sheriff requests to transfer $50,000 of equipment vehicles to search and rescue funds be used towards the purchase of a new search and rescue truck. No trucks were available for purchase in 2022. No change in contingency. The sheriff's office requests to roll over $19,481.54 of employee education funds to be used towards 2023 education and equipment purposes. No change in contingency. 3, the sheriff's office requests to roll over $3,793,000 of U.S. Forestry Services to be used towards USFS expenses. No change in contingency. 4, the sheriff's office requests to roll over $5,000 of SAR funds to be used towards a purchase of a new search and rescue truck. No change in contingency. 5, the sheriff's office requests $1,788 of unexpected revenue from training reimbursement to be utilized towards employee education. No change in contingency. Jail. 1, the jail requests $4,553.21 of unexpected revenue from the JBBS and MAT grant for reimbursing a portion of expenses related to mental health and addition services required to the jail. 2, the jail requests $7,704.13 of unexpected revenue from the JBBS and MAT grant for reimbursing a portion of expenses related to mental health and additional services required in the jail. 3, the jail requests $7,704.13 of unexpected revenue from JBBS and MAT grant for reimbursing a portion of expenses related to mental health and addition services required to the jail. Public safety maintenance. The Development Services Office requests $4,978.43 of unexpected revenue for reimbursement of a handicap door installed at the PSC to be used towards 2023 capital expenses. Fairgrounds. One, the fairgrounds request to roll over 3,000 from contract labor to be used towards the purchase of new tires for a John Deere tractor. Two, the fairgrounds request to transfer 3,000 from contract labor to repairs and equipment and maintenance to be used towards 2023 repairs. Cemetery. The cemetery requests to roll over 2,500 from operating supplies to be used towards insulation and sheetrock for the cemetery shop. Parks and Recreation. The Parks and Recreation Office requests to roll over $106,075.46 from equipment miscellaneous to be used towards the purchase of an ice resurfacer that was ordered in 2022 but not received until 2020. Airport. The airport requests an unplanned expenditure of $33,000 for other professional services to be used towards snow plowing. 33,000 change in contingency. The Maybell ambulance.
Kathy, it's just so we don't have to go back. So in that airport one, just so we know that we will be getting reimbursed some of that back from the city in 2024. It's just the way that the grants rolled out and the way that things happen. We're fronting the money. They're going to come back and pay us in the rear side. Just so thank you.
Maybell ambulance. The Maybell ambulance requests to roll over $4,603.52 from previous year's unspent funds to miscellaneous equipment to be used for future equipment expenses. Maybell Fire. The Maybell Fire Department requests to roll over $35,100.73 from previous year's unspent funds to miscellaneous equipment to be used for future equipment expenses. Public Health. The Public Health Department requests $9,069 of unexpected revenue from rural response to the opioid epidemic to be utilized towards operating supplies. Maybell Park. The Maybell Park Department requests to roll over $79,368.43 from previous year's unspent funds to miscellaneous equipment to be used for future equipment expense. The Maybell Women's Club requests to roll over $18,069.14 from previous year's unspent funds to miscellaneous equipment to be used for future equipment expense. Moffett County Fair. The Moffett County Fair requests to utilize $36,109 of unexpected revenue from a county fair stimulus grant be used towards county fair expenses. The Moffett County Fair requests to roll over $105,694 from operating supplies to the following accounts for the county fair. Judges, $4,000, awards, $4,000, advertising and legal notices, $8,500, Queens, $1,225, open horse show, $1,200, county fair stimulus grant, $36,109, entertainment, $71,000, miscellaneous, $4,000, operating supplies, $6,269, fair book, $2,000, security, $3,500. Seniors. The Seniors Department requests $11,999.69 of unexpected revenue to be used towards reimbursable expenses. Tourism. The MCTA requests to utilize $15,000 of unexpected revenue from Colorado State Economic Assist be used towards 2023 promotional material expenses. So budget supplementary request by category unexpected revenue is $62,796.59. Transfers of $237,694. Rollovers are $425,185.82. Total adjustments, $725,676.41. Our contingency as of January 1st is $625,000. And our emergency reserve balance is $1,249,338. Airport fund balance.
Perfect.
That's our budget for March.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just got one question, just so that your numbers come out right. Go back to the jail
Yes.
on the unexpected revenue from JBBS and the MAC grant.
Mhm.
1 and 2, you have those twice.
It's two, One's for February, one's for March. And so it is.
This is-
two
and it's the
different
same
ones
amount,
that are
though.
just the same
Okay.
amounts. So
Okay.
We questioned it.
Yeah, because I was like, that's the same amount.
I said
To
the
the
same
penny.
thing, yes.
Yeah,
When
you
we
catch-
went over
okay.
it. But it is
You bet.
for good months.
Any questions? I think it's important, before we open it to public comment that, you know, these are, a lot of these are not increasing or we're just giving them more money. A lot of it is, they didn't spend it last year. And so now they're transferring over, because if they don't transfer it over, it goes away. And so they have to request, that's how government works. They have to request to get it transferred over into the new one. And especially with the buying of vehicles, when you order them 1 year and you don't get to pay for them till the next year, you have to somehow transfer that money. So it's not like we're giving $700,000 into extra, you know, out of our general account where this is all, you know, rolling through. So I think it's important. So.
Yeah, a lot of the, obviously with COVID, we've still experienced delays in, they've ordered it
Materials.
and then towards the end of the line, trying to determine whether we'd make the cut and
Right.
rolling it into December or not, and not everything did.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. Okay. All right. If you want, you can stay if you want, or.
I'm all set.
All right, at this time, we will open it up to public comments. Please come, state your name, approach the commissioner, state your name, and you have 3 minutes to speak either for or against the supplemental budget for March. One more time. Forever hold your peace. All right, hearing no public comment for or against. We will now come out of executive session, public hearing, and we will come back into our normal meeting, and we'll look to the commissioners for guidance.
That's all I have. It's just that one little thing. The penny, you know.
That's a good catch,
Right.
for sure.
Better to ask first than
Yeah.
to go back and have to fix it.
No other comments?
You have anything?
You have anything?
No.
Okay. For the resolution.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve March budget supplemental resolution 2023-37.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. All right, now we'll go to presentations. We have the Yampa River Leafy Spurge Project, John Husband, and I see you have someone with you?
I have some other folks with us here.
Yeah, come up and you can let you introduce them and we'll get into this.
This is Jenny Preston. She's with the Friends of the Yampa. You know Jesse Schroeder.
I do.
And you also know Kurt. I don't think there's people that might dial in on.
There is
I
some.
think someone's on.
I don't know if he's on or.
We'll look and see.
But
All right, she has your presentation up, so.
okay,
I admitted somebody, that's all I know.
that's fine. Okay. Hopefully somebody we know. Should have a couple of handouts, but I think ahead of time, one of them you can get from the screen now. The next one is, that's the 2022 accomplishments. The next would be the 2022 goals that we set for this year. I'm not gonna go over these handouts. These pictures. This is. See if we got it right. We'll go on to the next one. My mission is engaging landowners and agencies, educating organizations, working together to establish technical programs that integrate management. Next one, this is handouts. We've been at this since 2015. Recognize the extent of the Great spread that it was doing. I tried to get a regional partnership going here. Focus is on the riparian zone that seems to be spreading. Was concerned with facing overall education regarding leaf spurge. Research. Now I can see who else is on the Zoom call here. Now they're out in guys.
It's,
Okay, I said, it's a regional partnership. These are some of the organizations, government agencies where there's actually partners. Of course, Moffett County has been, Proud County Park Service, Colorado County Ag, USDA, Conservation Districts, Conservation Service, NRCS, BLM, and others that probably aren't listed here, but we have had quite a lot of participation from our regional and state partners and agencies. And the next slide, and also is the volunteers that we had in this effort. Of an awful lot of people and putting their personal time in on this effort. Next slide. I said the focus on the riparian zone. And that's because, the river seemed to be acting as a vector, spreading the spurs down the river. There's an interesting map here just showing zones of irrigated acreage and overlaying with some leafy spurs in Moffett County or surrounding counties, and it's feeded along the riparian zones. That's what we have been feeding on. But we're trying to benefit the whole basin because it does spread into the uplands as well. Outreach and education. We've had all kinds of numerous community meetings, stakeholder meetings, of course, briefings with the county commissioners, different organizations, conferences, and youth engagement. We've gotten youth out looking at learning about leafy spurge, about what we're doing with our efforts here. There's a photo there from one of the youth outreach days there. We've done a lot of mail outs to people primarily along the river about leafy spurge, and we do a show me float every year, every spring. People that are interested along the Napa between here and Hayden, just kind of showing them what the problem is. Going to the next slide. The research part, we got a grant, I think it was in 2018 maybe, CWCB through the roundtable. Some University of Wyoming graduate students did some research in this area on the ground. Anna Coons, which is there on the left, was concentrating on integrative management with various chemical treatments, sheep grazing, different rates, this and that. And Chloe Matilio, who's the one that's on the right there, did a research project on remote sensing. Can we recognize this from remote sensing satellites? What kind of correlations do we have there? And also building a risk assessment model. So the next slide, from Hannah's work there, really and truly, she was her work more than anything, I would say, verified that leafy spurge is tough. I mean, she was trying different herbicide applications and grazing systems and mixed results. One thing that she really did establish that very firmly was that leafy spurge plants that are eroding out of the bank, floating downstream, pieces of roots, stems, are sprouting downstream too. So it's not just seed, okay, pieces of the plant. The next slide, one of the things that Chloe came up with risk assessment, and this is some of the results. This is a map showing the results of that. as far as the highest suitability for the spurge to invade, based on on-site conditions, soil aspect, moisture, and looking at similar type factors up in Fremont County, Wyoming, where they've had a heck of a problem for a long time. The disturbing thing about this map is that big red blob is all the ag lands around Mayville. So going to the next slide. Management actions, we've been hopefully with our outreach, education, spurring some management actions amongst the landowners, agencies, different ways to try to manage the problem with the chemical application, biological, which basically is the beetles that are natural enemies of the leafy spurge, mechanical, which is removal of the plant, mechanical means, grazing being one way to do that, and then integrated was by application of various types of those methods put together different rates and timing. So, and going to the next slide. We've been spending a lot of time here in recent years and effort on the biological control end of things. Okay, with the spurge beetles, there's two species of beetles that we're working with there. They're on the left up there, and then there's the stem boring beetle that's on the bottom on the right there. And the next slide. The reason that we are looking so heavily at biological control is chemical treatments. Yes, we're still, in the county places, people are using that. That's good. Be expensive. There are environmental limitations on where you can apply chemicals, and along the river, riparian zones is one of those things. And then effectiveness. You treat with chemicals, and it seems like 5 years is coming back from the reds is a tough problem. Outside of intensively managed agricultural areas, the expense probably isn't worth it. Along the riparian zone there, much of that is it's just not intensely managed. Okay, it's not hayed, it's not heavily grazed in many cases. Mechanical limitations is the logistics and the effectiveness of getting the spurge seems to come back and remove it. Our field observations also led us to say, the beetles actually are here. There were some releases up to maybe even 30 years ago that in small numbers that were thought to be they're no longer there. They didn't work, but we started finding them, and we started observing in some places. Go in there, you can see stunted spurge patches with maybe some healthy clumps in there. And there's beetles there. They were there, and they were already doing some work there. Then we've also been getting information from other places, most notably recently Idaho and their efforts with the biocontrol with the beetles seem to be having some success, and reflected in some recent literature as well. So we've really been working on the biological control in recent years. And the next slide. What we're going to call this, or what we're calling this, I guess, inundative biological strategy. We're putting a whole bunch of insects out there. Okay. And it seems to be effective in other areas, and that's what we are going to be working on here. We have been over the last several years and plan to be this next year releasing a lot of beetles and monitor the sites as much as we can the next 5 years or so. See what we can determine as far as the effectiveness. This is what we've been doing the last several years and plan for 2023. And so we put out over 70,000 of these insects over the last 4 years. Hope to boost that to over 100,000 this year. We have some volunteers, including Tamara there, that are planning to go to Idaho this spring to see their effectiveness, how that's working, and also to see how do they collect these things. It's very labor intensive to collect, okay, to take them to release somewhere else.
What do those insects cost money?
They do cost money, and we have gotten some donations from different sources. We have also purchased some, and you'll be seeing, so at any rate, this slide again is, you'll be seeing some of these things in the future here. And see, I can remember what the next slide is here to give you we'll come back to the funding. And this is just the front page of the home page of our web page. We do have really good, look at the web page. It's really easy to remember how to get there. Yampa River Leafy Spurs Project.com. Okay, so so if you want to go there, why it's easy to find. A lot of information on the beetles, biological control, the research, the mapping has been done, other research that we posted on there. A lot of information. On to the next slide. Okay, and with the funding, yes, we've been fortunate over the years. The Department of Ag actually was one of our first funders to get us started in the 2016, 17. Then we did get a grant from the CWCB, the Water Board, through the roundtable that allowed us to do the research and some more outreach programs. Moffat County and Routt County provided some matching funds for that, which really helped us along a lot. And we have some people. I don't think I have a slide in here that shows the piece slide. It's not that science. It's on the web page. And there's things you can see where we're looking. I'm screening here, of course, with the state wildlife area up here. It's a great leafy spurs area. I mean, there's a lot of it up there, and then on the adjacent private land, we've got a lot of releases up there, but also up and down the river, different places, a few places off the river. Out in BLM, I think we've got some out there along the river. PP probably have some out there too. Yeah, so spreading some beetles out different places, and we will be doing some more of that as we go along here. We do appreciate the support that we got from Moffat County, as well as Routt County. The counties are all in on this, and we just wanted to make sure that we get back to you, let you know that, and that we will be around and working on this for future years. Friends of the Yampa got engaged with us a few years ago as a fiscal agent when we got that big grant that allowed us to do the research and some other things. And they may have a role in the future. We're looking at putting in for a grant. Emily Spencer out in the Dinosaur, Tamara, and Lindsay from the Friends of the Yampa, Lindsay Marlowe, are kind of heading up putting together a grant that we would get some funding, hopefully here very soon, that will be useful for perhaps, like I said, acquiring deals, outreach, treatments, and maybe hiring some part-time help to help with this kind of stuff. And the prospects for that actually look very good. So, and we can't give you any more detail than that right now, but it looks good if that comes through. And I think that's about where, go to the next slide. I think that might be, oh, well, the show me float. Okay, we do that every year. We can't tell you when we're going to do it this year because we don't know what the runoff's going to be. There's no sense doing it when what you're trying to look at is underwater. Okay. But we'll let you know when we're gonna do that this year. Probably be in June sometime. And other than that, I guess I'd throw it open to see if Jenny or anybody else would like to add anything. Yes.
I think you covered it well. The one thing that I'll add to it, that while John showed a slide of all kinds of agencies and organizations, the majority of this work is done by volunteers who care to see a solution for this resource. And I think that credit should certainly be recognized in this effort. That volunteer group has been huge in getting things done.
And we did get donation. All of that.
Well, so what does 30,000 beetles cost?
You
A
know,
couple hundred.
Couple $100 for 10,000? So it's not ridiculous.
No, it's very.
Availability is probably more of an issue than cost.
And when they've done those collections, it's like an aspiration tube. They have to go over and suck them all up through a little container and then sort them out. So that's labor.
Collect elsewhere, and the beetles are collected elsewhere. You don't want to have everything that you collect going with you. Because there might be a lot of insects or organisms in there. You don't want to.
Gotcha. Right.
What you do is you separate out one by one, one to one. Okay. And so that's something going to Idaho, see how do they even do this with this many insects. So it's going to be something to look at this year. And we're looking at the state wildlife area and up in that area where there's quite a lot of spurge up there here in Hayden. That might become a local nursery for us if it'll work out. What that'll do is maybe eliminate some of that need because it's just locally. Anything else?
That's interesting.
And I think that's the last slide. That's good. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for coming, John.
We're still gonna be here going at this. We are looking at the future and trying to figure out how this is going to keep going because some of the volunteers, may or may not have continued interest or ability to engage in this, but we're looking for a way forward to keep this effort going.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all you guys. Appreciate the volunteers and everybody working on that.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, appreciate it. Well, that is the conclusion of our meeting. The next meeting is April 11th. It will be the last commissioner meeting in this courthouse. And it will be actually held in the conference room right down in the main floor here, but this will be the absolute last commissioner meeting. That will be held here, so kind of it'll be maybe short and sweet, but anyway. All right, well.
Where are you gonna find you when you move? Did they chuck you back in a corner?
We're hidden. You have to have a secret passcode to get back to where we're at. All right, well, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you.